This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
In 30 days, that same person will have spread COVID-19 to more than 400 people.
Federal leaders highlight the Circle City as a COVID-19 hotspot. This morning, the latest on the efforts to flatten the curve.
The increased coronavirus concerns have some pregnant women concerned. Working for you, the options some women are considering away from the hospital.
Connecting with your loved ones while social distancing can be challenging.
This is a funny way to do it, but it's better this way than that.
New this morning, we're looking at the unique way some families are staying in touch while staying 6 feet apart.
And it's no secret that small businesses are struggling.
We're worried about our employees. We need to make sure that they get paid. They're pretty much like our family.
Why small business owners say the government stimulus may not be enough to get them through.
And it is 6 o'clock here, and we do want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Rafael Sanchez is down in the Johnson County Bureau. We're having some technical difficulties with him, so we will get to him at some point this morning, we promise. But we do want to get to our weather right away. We're kicking off a new week, and Todd, after the weekend we had, I think people are hoping for a little sunshine.
Right. We'll have the sunshine. That's the good news. That's not an issue here throughout the day today. And the wind becoming less and less of an issue. Yesterday, extremely windy. But when you see the color contours on this map, that's where wind gusts are over 20 miles per hour. And if you were this last hour, there was a lot more color here, at least across the state of Indiana. It's now shifted off to the east in Ohio. So that's indicating our winds are calming down. That's the good news as you walk out the door here this morning if you have to do so. Temperatures are sitting in the 40s with partly cloudy skies. It's a decent morning for us. The biggest flaw, again, the wind, but things will get better in that department as the day goes on. From Peru southward, we're mainly clear, but you notice once you get to Peru and to the north, there's a little more in the way of cloud cover. A few rain showers moving through Fort Wayne. I'm not really too concerned about those rain showers, but for those of you who do live in northern locations, unfortunately, you're going to be the exception to the rule with the sunshine. You're going to have a little more in the way of cloud cover throughout the day today, but most of us enjoy partly cloudy skies from start to finish. Temperatures this morning at 8 a.m. right around 43 degrees. By the noon hour, though, we are up to 50, and then high temperatures later on this afternoon. Meredith will be in the mid-50s for your daytime highs.
Todd, thank you. We continue to follow the coronavirus outbreak and how it's impacting our daily lives. Over the weekend, the number of COVID-19 cases in Indiana taking a drastic jump. On Sunday, the state health department confirmed more than 1,500 new cases of the virus and 32 deaths. Nearly 700 of the confirmed cases are in Marion County. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning. And Kelsey, the surge in cases here in Indianapolis is now getting the attention of the U.S. Surgeon General.
Yeah, that's right, Meredith. With Marion County having nearly 700 positive cases, the U.S. Surgeon General says that it is becoming a hotspot for COVID-19. Marion County has nearly 700 cases, and the next closest is Hamilton County with 83. We are now entering the first full week of the stay-at-home order in Indiana after Governor Holcomb's order went into effect last week. In a video tweeted out by the Indiana State Department of Health, the State Health Commissioner, Dr. Christina Box, addressed how we can help stop the spread of COVID-19 by continuing to practice social distancing.
Do you know why it's so critical for us all to do our part? If no one practiced social distancing, a person infected can spread COVID-19 to 2 or more people in just 5 days. In 30 days, that same person will have spread COVID-19 to more than 400 people. But that number drops significantly if half of us practice social distancing. Instead of infecting 400 people,
She goes on to say, if we all practice social distancing, one person can make a difference to help flatten the curve, reduce the number of cases, and help keep our families and communities safe. So where are the state's numbers right now? There are 1,514 people confirmed to have the coronavirus here in Indiana. 32 deaths have also been reported, and that's nearly 10,000 people being tested here in the Hoosier state. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. The death of a nurse in New York is hitting close to home. Mariah Sharon says that her brother tested positive for COVID-19 days before he died. He texted his sister from the ICU.
In the text, he said, I can't talk because I choke. He was having difficulty breathing. He said, I'm going to be okay. And he said, please don't tell mom and dad because they'll worry.
Sharon is a faculty member at Ivy Tech in Indianapolis. She says her brother, 48-year-old Caius Kelly, died Tuesday from that virus after getting sick 2 weeks ago. Sharon says healthcare workers across the country are now reaching out to her, sharing their stories and concerns.
It is dire. It is dire. What I'm also hearing from nurses is it's only the doctors that have the N95 mask. The nurses, the janitors, the food, everyone else is wide open.
According to his Facebook page, Kelly graduated from Butler. He worked at Mount Sinai Health West Hospital in Manhattan.
COVID-19 is having an impact on pregnant women who plan to give birth in a hospital. Our Alyssa Donovan explains why some are now turning to other options.
With hospital restrictions in place and concern about interacting with COVID-19 patients, some mothers-to-be are turning to another option, home births. Brandy Graham Wood is a certified midwife with Home for Birth. She specializes in handling prenatal care and guiding a family through a child being born at home instead of at the hospital. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, she's received a lot more inquiries from mothers who are looking to change up their plans.
We always got calls every week, but probably in the last week and a half, we've had 30 calls with requests for late to care transfers.
That's in addition to another 20 or so emails and Facebook messages. Usually, Graham Wood works with the family throughout the pregnancy, but the inquiries she's receiving now are for late to care transfers, women who are 38 to 39 weeks into their pregnancy. Many of them had planned to have their baby in a hospital, but COVID-19 restrictions preventing visitors and concern about proximity to people who are sick has more women turning to other options.
Because of a public health emergency, some women are being forced out of their birth plan, out of their support people, and that's a scary place to be.
Home for Birth is completely booked for the month of April, but if you want to call, they can direct you to other midwives in the area. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Parents, students, and teachers all across central Indiana continue to navigate through e-learning together. This morning, lots of parents are wondering if they'll even send their kids back to a classroom this school year. So I talked with one Greenwood mother and teacher at Our Lady of the Greenwood Catholic School. Elise Floyd tells us that this is their first time doing e-learning. When the Archdiocese made the call, teachers worked very quickly to change their lesson plans to a digital format for the fourth quarter. Students came to school for a few hours that day to get Chromebooks and packets, and now Floyd is helping students from her home while also keeping 2 young boys occupied as her husband is a first responder. She says it's important to hold students accountable during this time, but she also wants parents and students to know that we're all in this together.
It's definitely going to be kind of a hunt for, is this a you don't understand what's going on? Is this a you just didn't do it? Kind of trying to figure that out. How can I support you? But I know a lot of our parents, I think, are very overwhelmed because this is new to them. Google Classroom is new to them. Trying to teach their kids from home or help their kids from home, or if they're working, is very, very challenging.
Floyd tells me that the end of the school year, it's still super important because next year they're going to build on what they're learning right now. She also is researching best practices and web resources for her digital classroom, and she tells me that PBS Learning Media and Edpuzzle are her 2 favorite sites to use so far. Raphael?
Lauren, thank you so much. Live this morning from our Johnson County studio. And you this morning, the agonizing reality that COVID-19 is separating friends and family. And many are depending on technology and creativity to remain connected. When the window opens, there's a love connection.
This is a funny way to do it, but better this way than doesn't.
Rachel working peeks out the window to see her daughter, Allison McLean. Luckily, Rachel lives on the first floor at Otterbein. Through cell phones, they connect and chat.
Well, hi, Mom.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Look what I got from my yard.
I noticed them. Are you sure you didn't get them out there?
I did not. They are legitimately from my yard.
it's just wonderful to see her face. And that I love being able to talk to her.
Rachel and her husband Vaughn have been married for 50 years. Vaughn lives on a different floor of the facility. These days, the two usually talk via an iPad.
Well, I'll give you a big hug. Your daughter was talking to you. Did you see her?
Who did you just see, Dad?
Hi.
Hi, who did you just see?
Allison's visits have no specific length. Talking is their mutual treasure.
Your hair looks nice.
Thank you. I had it done this morning.
Yeah.
Their exchange a reflection of love, which these days requires creativity. A love always in bloom. On exhibit, a lot. Outside this window on the first floor. A lot of love outside that window. Nursing homes and other assisted living facilities are asking students or adults to send cards or send other ways, cheers of some kind or posters to keep those that are stranded inside these homes happy during these difficult times.
Raphael, thank you. Hiring Hoosiers is committed to helping Hoosiers who are out of work find jobs. Ahead at 6:14, where your help is needed during this pandemic. Todd.
Most of us, I'm pretty sure, are sick of dealing with these rainy days off and on throughout the week, with the exception of Tuesday and just a slight chance of an isolated shower in southern locations. At least the next 4 days will be dry. Things change a little bit once we get to Friday. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:11. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple of minutes.
RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers initiative is always committed to connecting you to job opportunities and resources. But that mission is even more urgent now as unemployment skyrockets amid the COVID-19 outbreak. This morning, we're learning more about a facility in Noblesville that's hiring aggressively. 5-Star Senior Living is looking to hire about 20 people, from certified nursing assistants to cooks and servers.
We know there's a lot of restaurants that have closed down, and those restaurants are only doing carry-out. So we really want to reach out to those servers because we have availability in our dining areas.
If you have a passion for taking care of senior citizens, you can head to hiringhoosiers.com to learn more about the positions and find a link to apply.
Meredith, thank you so much this morning. Indiana State Police are also hiring Hoosiers, and here are all the details you need right now. The agency is looking for regional dispatchers here in Indianapolis and at the State Police Post in Bloomington, that's in Monroe County. And dispatchers, they receive, they record, and they dispatch information to state troopers and other law enforcement agencies. Now, the deadline to apply is quickly approaching. Your deadline for applications, they will close on April the 10th. But on this March the 30th, let's check your forecast with Todd Clausen. Hopefully, Todd, less windy and hopefully more sunny.
Yeah, you know, we'll have the sunshine. That's the good news today, Raphael. As far as the wind, it's in the process this morning of starting to calm down across the area. Yesterday, an extremely windy day. We had that wind advisory that was in effect until 8 p.m. That's no longer in effect. That's the good news. The wind's down to 17 miles per hour out of the west. Those eventually will shift northwesterly here throughout the day, but they'll still continue to calm down. That is the good news. Temperatures are in the 40s anywhere you go. We're right at 40 degrees right now in Tipton as well as Crawfordsville. 47 in Bloomington. 44 is the current temperature as you make your way into the Greenwood area. As those winds shift to the northwest, it is going to prevent our temperatures from really soaring up into the 60s later on this afternoon. Instead, we'll be in the 40s throughout much of the morning. 50 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour, and then temperatures will be up into the mid-50s. You combine that with the sunshine, not a bad afternoon at all. We may have to take a couple degrees off of the temperatures that you see here because of the breeze, but it's more of a breeze compared to those gusty winds that we saw yesterday. So that is going to be improvement as well. Storm Team 6 radar, nice and quiet for you, at least here in central Indiana this morning. There's just a few lingering showers making their way through Fort Wayne, but this will pass off towards the east, and it's just part of this area of low pressure and you see the counterclockwise rotation through Michigan. The showers will shift off towards the west, but some of these clouds, which do include northern Indiana, will start to pinwheel a little further down to the south during the course of the afternoon hours. Locations such as Kokomo, Tipton, over towards Huntington, into the Muncie area, Marion, Hartford City, Gas City. You're going to probably deal with a little more in the way of cloud cover throughout the afternoon hours, while everybody else is just going to be partly cloudy, unfortunately. But it's still a decent day as far as the temperatures go, and also the sunshine. Now, tomorrow's a chilly day for us. It's the coldest day that we have in our forecast for a while, as temperatures will only be in the low to mid 40s across the area, but it still will be sunny. That's the good news. Tomorrow, there's a chance, and TrueCast isn't really picking up on it, but I do think there'll be the chance of maybe a sprinkle or two in southern locations as a little system scoots by to our south, but it should not be widespread. And overall, it's not a bad 7-day planning forecast. We are dry through Thursday. Once we get past tomorrow, temperatures moderate back up into the 60s by Thursday afternoon. And the rain showers that you do see on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those are just going to be spotty. At this point, we are not looking at any heavy rainfall heading our way, which is good news since we do still, Lauren, have some flood warnings out there across the area.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're taking a close look at your roads this morning. This is on the near east side. Our view of I-70 here at Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. You can see traffic pretty quiet as it should be here in this area. Traffic is moving along up to speed on your interstate, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes to report around central Indiana at this hour, but of course we'll keep our eyes on your roads and keep you updated throughout the morning. Raphael?
Lauren, the president is making new allegations that he says about medical supplies. He's claiming that hospitals are hoarding ventilators, and he's now asking investigators to investigate that matter. ABC's Kenneth Moten has much more on this developing story.
With medical equipment becoming scarce at many hospitals, President Trump is now accusing hospitals of hoarding ventilators.
Many of the states are stocked up. Some of them don't admit it, but they have. We have sent just so many things to them, and including ventilators. You know, there's a question as to hoarding of ventilators.
The president made the claim without providing evidence or naming facilities after meeting with several companies to discuss how they're ramping up production of medical supplies. Later, Trump doubled down, questioning the true reason behind the surge in demand for masks, especially in New York.
It's a New York hospital, it's packed all the time. How do you go from 10 to 20 to 300,000, 10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different? Something's going on.
Overnight, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio's office called the claim ludicrous, adding there is no hoarding or conspiracy going on here. Just a simple fact. Our doctors and nurses need masks. That's the sad, unchanging truth unless the federal government steps up and protects our frontline workers. In Louisiana, another hot zone, the governor says the state's healthcare system could become overwhelmed by early April because of a lack of supplies.
About the 4th or 5th of April, before down in the New Orleans area, we're unable to put people on ventilators who need them.
Doctors and nurses across the country say they're now seeing the critical shortages, which they feared for weeks. For some, the risk has grown to be too much, including this former nurse who says she didn't feel properly protected by her hospital, so she quit.
The current hospital that I was working at kept taking PPE away from us and changing the guidelines.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
The COVID-19 pandemic is showing how communities are standing together to support one another. After the break, the moving waste communities across our nation are showing compassion during this trying time.
Looking for a new hobby to pass the time? How about songwriting with John Bon Jovi? Coming up on Good Morning America, how the rock icon is hoping to push your abilities to greatness. We'll be right back.
And Keller. Right now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. So what is trending at 6? Good morning to Lauren and Meredith. Good to see you guys, first of all.
Good morning.
And Lauren, welcome back to the set. Lauren,
Thank you.
Just let you know, these flowers are for you.
Oh.
We change the flowers every day in our Johnson County studio, so these are for you.
Only the best.
So
Thanks,
how will we
Raphael.
all You're welcome. So how will we all remember, of course, COVID-19? Well, let me take you to the nation's capital where someone is doing something really, really unique. And here it goes. A Washington, D.C. photographer spends her days biking around her neighborhood, taking photos of families from a distance, of course. She says many people are looking to capture their families' moments during this historic time and ways to show support for the community. The money she raises is being used to buy gift cards for employees or small businesses hit hard by this pandemic. What a great idea.
Yeah, well, people are also finding some pretty creative ways without leaving their homes to thank the essential workers who are still being called upon to go to work every day. So residents at the Westminster Town Senior Living Facility in Orlando, they blinked their lights to show their appreciation. Out in New York, people cheered and clapped from the safety of their apartments. And we want to thank all the people who are working right now to protect us and keep everyone safe. It's a tough job.
Yeah, and outside Mount Sinai Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, small messages of hope have popped up to greet medical personnel as they arrive for work. Linda Storis, the woman behind the messages of gratitude, hopes the small gesture can fuel doctors, nurses, and hospital staff to keep pushing forward in what she believes must feel like an endless battle. We have seen so many incredible, just small gestures, whether it be people going out on their balconies, applauding at the same time each night, you know, in honor of these frontline workers. So it's been pretty incredible how much this has brought our nation together. All right, let's take a check here at 6:26 with what is going on with our weather today. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, the wind is calming down, so that is good news as we work our way throughout the day today. But the flags will still be extended across the area. It's still going to be breezy. We're just not going to be dealing with those real strong gusty winds like we had the past 24 hours. Temperature-wise, not bad. 40s this morning, about 50 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. Skies will be partly cloudy. It's a dry day for us as well. And then high temperatures today will range from only the upper 40s in northern locations where you have a little more in the way of cloud cover today in Peru as well as Muncie. As you work your way south, more and more in the way of sunshine. As a result, your temperatures are a little bit warmer. 54 in Indy, 56 in Lafayette, 60s though from Terre Haute to Bloomington over to Columbus.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Small businesses from restaurants to hair salons are now shut down under that government order, but some are still trying to pay their employees, but they're running out of time and out of cash. Working for you, our John Matarese speaks to one owner about what they desperately need so you don't waste your money.
The good news is that $1,200 checks will be on the way soon to most taxpayers to help them during these turbulent times. But what about the small businesses and the people who work for them? Are they getting any help? This almost new Holiday Inn Express is open for business. Its rooms deeply sanitized, but owner Awais Shoab is worried, very worried.
Occupancy here has pretty much tanked. We have no business, as you can see.
While airlines and restaurants have received the headlines, millions of small businesses, from hair salons to auto detail shops, are hurting just as much. And that includes independently owned hotels.
We're worried about our employees. We need to make sure that they get paid. They're pretty much like our family.
Among those employees are his parents, Muhammad and Shakila.
So we don't know what's going to happen.
The family tells me they've done everything that the state has asked. They've closed their breakfast buffet. They've put up all the tables and chairs, and they're double sanitizing the rooms. But they say at this rate, they don't know how much longer they can continue to pay their 15 employees.
All they've given us is the SBA disaster loan. There's no grants, no bailouts, nothing for us to be able to say, okay, here's something that you can pay your employees with.
Awais is now a sponsor of a petition on change.org for hotel relief to keep paychecks coming to the 15 million Americans who work as front desk help, cooks, and maids. While his mom is one of them, she worries more about the maids who need every dollar.
We are worried about their salaries, pays, and everything. We are worried about their safety too.
For more coronavirus consumer news, go to theindychannel.com so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Police are still trying to figure out what led up to a shooting that left 2 people dead and another injured on Indy's east side. Police say it happened Sunday afternoon on Emerson Avenue, just south of the I-70 interchange. The names of those shooting victims have not yet been released.
Wayne Township schools are adding more safety measures during meal distribution for students to help slow the spread of COVID-19. Drivers are now being asked to open their trunks before pulling up to the distribution center. That way, employees can deliver the meals at a safe distance. They also do not want you to roll down your window. Instead, tell the employees how many meals you need with a show of fingers through the front windshield. We have more information for you on the IndyChannel.com.
Subaru of Indiana has donated hundreds of supplies to firefighters. Subaru's Lafayette plant donated 75 Tyvek suits and 320 packages of cleaning wipes to Lafayette professional firefighters, Local 472. The fire department posted pictures on Facebook thanking Subaru for their donation. They say the suits will help keep first responders from cross-contamination while responding to emergency medical calls. Welcome into Good Morning Indiana. I was told Raphael was going to kick things off for us this morning, but
he's down in Johnson County at our South Bureau there. Raphael, good morning.
That's the trouble with this new thing we got going on here.
I'm not used to all these boxes. My apologies. I'm not used to all the boxes. I was thinking about a new work week, and of course Todd Clausen, and then I found all things in my yard. Todd, just take it away. What's the forecast on this Monday?
Well, in their downtime, you can get out in your yard, Raphael, the next few days and start maybe doing some of that spring cleaning, and many of you maybe have to put down some mulch or edge those flower beds. You'll be in good shape here the next couple days as we finally get an opportunity to dry out just a little bit. As you plan out your morning, we'll have plenty of sunshine. That's the good news. It's a bright start to our day as skies are mainly clear. The one exception to the north, there's a little more in the way of clouds, and temperatures will climb from the mid-40s to right around 50 degrees by time we get to the noon hour. And here's a little bit of that cloud cover that I mentioned, stretching now just north of Kokomo up towards Peru. So for those of you in those locations, you'll have to deal with the clouds for a little while here this morning. But the rest of central Indiana is completely cloud-free, and back off to our west, it is clear as well. And that's the sunshine that's going to be here in central Indiana for the next few days. Now, as far as the wind goes, it was very windy yesterday, obviously, you know that. Today, the wind continues to die down. So while it's a little bit breezy, we will not have those real strong gusty winds like we did throughout much of Sunday. 49 today in Kokomo as well as Muncie with the additional cloud cover. As you work your way south, though, you notice the temperatures get warmer. Southern locations, you'll see highs today in the low 60s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much for keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. You can see it is picking up over here on the west side, I-465 near Sam Jones Expressway. Lots of headlights out that way, traveling northbound and southbound. You can see our camera there is bouncing around. Still a little breezy out there this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated if there are any issues on your road. Something to keep in mind, though, throughout this week if you are heading out there, crews are still doing maintenance and some projects to the interstates, so watch out for any construction workers as you're heading out the door. Raphael?
Good advice there, Lauren. Thank you so much. We continue to follow the coronavirus outbreak and the ways that it's impacting our lives here in Indiana, really across the country and the world. This weekend, there was a dramatic surge in the number of COVID-19 cases in our state. Take a look at these numbers. On Sunday, the state health department confirmed more than 1,500 cases of the virus and 32 deaths. Nearly 700 of the confirmed cases are here in the capital city, here in Marion County. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning. And Kelsey, the surge in numbers here in Indianapolis has caught the attention of the U.S. Surgeon General. What is he saying this morning?
Hey, good morning, Raphael. That's right. Marion County does have the most number of cases by far in the entire state, and that's why the U.S. Surgeon General is saying that this is an emerging hotspot for COVID-19. Marion County has nearly 700 cases. The next closest is Hamilton County with just 83. We are now entering the first full week of the stay-at-home order in Indiana after Governor Holcomb's order went into effect last week. In a video tweeted out by the Indiana State Department of Health, the state health commissioner, Dr. Christina addressed how we can help stop the spread of COVID-19 by continuing to practice social distancing.
Do you know why it's so critical for us all to do our part? If no one practiced social distancing, a person infected can spread COVID-19 to 2 or more people in just 5 days. In 30 days, that same person will have spread COVID-19 to more than 400 people. But that number drops significantly if half of us practice social distancing. Instead of
infecting 400 people.
She goes on to say, if we all practice social distancing, one person can make a difference. They can help flatten the curve, reduce the number of cases, and help keep our families and communities safe. So where is the state right now when it comes to positive cases in the Hoosier state? Well, right now there are 1,514 people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. 32 people have died and 10,000 people have been tested. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Starting today, stricter visitation rules are in place at Hancock Regional Hospital in Greenfield, but they're also taking steps to make sure you can see your loved ones that are hospitalized. In-person visitations are no longer allowed, but the team has partnered with technology company 9-Star Connect to bring a new e-visit program to the hospital.
We have iPads that we have outfitted so that you can actually come to the hospital, drive up to the portico in front, and we can hand you an iPad, and then you can park right there or in our parking lot and use the Wi-Fi that 9-Star Connect has so graciously put into our parking lot to connect and talk to your loved one face to face.
Hancock County has had 13 confirmed cases and 1 death. The team says they have more than doubled their ICU capacity and have nearly 3 times the ventilator capacity than before.
It is 6:35. COVID-19 is having an impact on pregnant women who plan to give birth at the hospital. Our Alyssa Donovan explains why some are now turning to other options.
With hospital restrictions in place and concern about interacting with COVID-19 patients, some mothers-to-be are turning to another option, home births. With the spread of COVID-19 a top concern, many area hospitals are limiting pregnant women to 1 visitor allowed during delivery. Brandy Graham Wood says the restrictions are why her phone won't stop ringing at home for birth. In the last week, she's received nearly 50 inquiries from phone calls to Facebook messages asking for her services as a midwife. Graham Wood typically works with women throughout their pregnancy, ending with a delivery in the family's home. But this has been very different. The women requesting services now are 38 weeks or later in their pregnancy, and they're scrambling for an alternative birth plan other than a hospital. Unfortunately, the influx of requests can't all be met by Graham Wood.
We're meeting with people who are due May 1st and later, and I've sent the other families on to other midwives just because I was already full and I want to be able to give the best care that I can to whomever I'm serving.
She says other midwives in the area are filling up quickly too. Typically, Graham Wood works with 4 or 5 families a month, but due to the high demand, she'll be working with 10 families next month. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. The YMCA of Greater Indianapolis is now expanding its childcare services to parents who are considered essential workers during this pandemic. Here's what you need to know for this week. This week, their program for kids ages 5 to 12 will be added at Baxter, Hendricks Regional Health, Ursay Family, Jordan, and the Witham Family YMCA. It has already been running at the Benjamin Harrison location. Leaders say during these uncertain times, the YMCA is honored to open its child care program to the heroes who keep our communities running smoothly every day.
So we just want to kind of lessen the stress on them. We want to make sure that they feel that their kids are going to a safe place and a fun place to be able to spend their time during these tough times when I know there's a lot of stress throughout the community and at their work.
So keep this in mind. Groups are limited to no more than 10 kids. Drop-off and pickup will take place curbside, and spaces are sanitized daily. Each child who attends must be fever-free and symptom-free and can also receive support with e-learning assignments during the day.
Well, parents, students, and teachers all across central Indiana continue to navigate through e-learning together, and many are wondering if they'll ever go back into a classroom this school year. So I talked with one Greenwood mother and teacher at Our Lady of the Greenwood Catholic School. Elise Floyd tells me that this is their first time doing e-learning. When the Archdiocese made the call, teachers worked quickly to change their lesson plans to a digital format for that fourth quarter. Students came to school for a few hours that day to get Chromebooks and packets, and now Floyd is helping students from her home while also keeping her 2 little boys occupied, as her husband is a first responder. And she says it's important that students, parents, and educators work together during this trying time.
We understand that this is a stressful time for all of us, that it is definitely something that is not in all of our parents' wheelhouse. I understand the stress factor of being home with your kids more and trying to keep them on track when they want it to be like a snow day. And just that we are here to answer any questions and to help alleviate any stress.
Floyd tells me the end of the school year is still super important because next year they're going to build on what they're learning right now. She's also researching best practices and web resources for her digital classroom, and she tells me that PBS Learning Media and Edpuzzle are her two favorite sites to use so far.
New York is desperate, but the president has said he does not believe they need everything they're asking for. Up next, what the claims he is happening to make about thousands of masks being used by medical professionals.
Plus, your federal stimulus money is on its way very soon. That also means that criminals are trying to steal it. Coming up, how you can protect yourself and the check that's coming in the mail. It is 6:40. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All products shipped from a U.S. warehouse.
This morning, President Trump is being criticized for claiming without evidence that nurses and other medical officials in New York are hoarding masks and other medical equipment. President Trump has previously said he didn't think New York needed the 30,000 ventilators the state had requested as it starts to run dangerously low on supplies to treat COVID-19 patients. On Sunday, the president suggested that the state was using too many masks in treating patients, and he also tried to deny what he said last week on Fox News Channel about what was happening in New York.
I don't believe you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators. You know, you go into major hospitals sometimes, they'll have 2 ventilators, and now all of a sudden they're saying, can we order 30,000 ventilators? So
you've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio calls the president's claims ludicrous. He says there is no hoarding or conspiracy going on here, just a simple fact. Our doctors and nurses need masks. Raphael.
On this Monday, we have a consumer alert while Americans await the arrival of those stimulus checks. The FBI right now is warning you against falling for any potential scams. The government says that scammers are already trying to steal people's money by asking for personal information through calls, texts, and websites. Officials also say scammers will likely try phishing scams by claiming to be from the government. Americans are eligible for up to $1,200 per person and should expect to see that money within 3 weeks if the IRS has your bank account information for direct deposit. You should also get a notice by mail with information about who to call if the money does not arrive.
A lot of people need a career coach now more than ever before. Next, who you should be reaching out to right now if you've lost your job. Todd.
And the good news is if you're heading out the door to go for a walk with the family, maybe through the neighborhood either this morning or this afternoon, you're going to be in good shape once the sun comes up. You'll need the sunglasses throughout the entire day. In fact, we have a nice stretch of dry weather. Tomorrow's rain chance is very small, only in southern locations. And then Wednesday's a sun-filled day as well. We'll break down the entire week for you coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:45. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
2 months on 12 models.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, live from our Johnson County studio. COVID-19, as you know, has really sent our economy into a tailspin. This could be a good time to reach out to a teacher, a friend, a mentor online to discuss your job skills. Our Hiring Hoosiers career coach explains that help may help you when the economy improves.
What is a career coach? Coaching in general refers to ways of helping others to improve, develop, learn new skills, find personal success, achieve aims, and lastly, to manage life and personal challenges. Coaching commonly addresses attitudes, behaviors, skills, and knowledge, as well as career goals and aspirations, and it can also focus on physical and spiritual development as well. There are many types of coaching out there that relate to careers. Some coaching is conducted in groups, such as business coaching, and that's where they help organizations meet the set goals that they have, or team coaching that helps teams establish mission statements or strategies and rules of engagement with each other. Other types of coaching is conducted individually, such as leadership or executive coaching. There's also legacy coaching for people who are retiring, and then communication coaching, just to name a few. Also conducted individually is career coaching, which helps individuals identify what they want and need from their career. And then it helps to make decisions and take the needed actions to accomplish their career objectives in balance with the other parts of their lives.
A big thank you for our career coaches from Central 9 with all the useful information. We also have more of their job finding tips, as well as jobs available right now on our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
Well, everyone is pitching in these days to encourage Hoosiers to practice that very important social distancing. So in a video posted on Governor Holcomb's Twitter, former Colts quarterback Andrew Luck and his longtime favorite target T.Y. Hilton are getting in on the act.
Hoosiers, let's keep ourselves safe and stay smart here in Indiana. Please listen to Governor Holcomb, our state health department, and especially TY. Take care.
Try your best to reach out to friends, family, support them through this tough time. Even support your local restaurants with to-go orders. Be safe, remember to wash your hands, and go Colts. Love you, Colt Nation.
Well, the Indy 11 are also working to help during the pandemic. They're selling Team 11 Cares t-shirts online, with the proceeds going to help healthcare workers with Community Health Network. Each t-shirt is $25. All right, at 6:50, we got to toss things over to Todd Clausen for a check of our Monday forecast. Hey, Todd.
And it's not a bad forecast here as we work our way throughout the start of this work week. Temperatures are just going to be running a little bit below normal temperature-wise, and it's still breezy today. That's probably the biggest flaw in the forecast, but it's not that gusty wind like we had yesterday. That's the good news, and we're dry basically through Thursday. Tomorrow there's just a very small chance of a few spotty showers in southern locations, but a beautiful sunrise starting to take place. Not a cloud in the skies. You look from IMS back to the east towards downtown Indianapolis, 44 degrees. There's that wind out of the west at 17 miles per hour. Earlier this morning, those winds were gusting up to about 25 to 30. Not the case anymore. Those winds should continue to subside as the day goes on. I won't call today windy for you. I'll just call it kind of breezy at times. So that's some improvement. 47 Bloomington, 43 in Greencastle, 40 in Tipton. In northern locations, you'll have a little more in the way of cloud cover today. And as a result, your temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler. Our featured dog of the day today is Wrigley, sent in by Christy. And Wrigley looks like he's all ready to go for a walk out there. And today's a good day to walk your dog, as we'll have plenty of sunshine. We'll give you the green paws throughout the entire day today, and you can send your pictures to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen, RTV6, and eventually I'll get them on the air for you. 55 degrees by 4 p.m. I mentioned the clouds to the north, and here they are right now from Muncie through Kokomo. And so if you live in this area, you're definitely going to see a little more in the way of cloud cover, at least to start the day, compared to southern locations. But the overall weather pattern is very, very quiet. That storm system is going to push off towards the east, and you can see the clouds dropping down. And TrueCast is showing a few showers. There could be a sprinkle in northern locations, but it should not be more than that. And then as that continues to the south, it's basically just going to fade away. 90% of us today going to be completely dry. It's just those southern locations that unfortunately, or northern locations rather have the potential for some clouds. Tomorrow's a much cooler day for us, but still some sunshine. We're only at 46 degrees. As we head into Wednesday, we're back up into the low 50s. It's cool but dry with lots of sunshine. And then Thursday, up to 60 degrees. degrees with the sunshine as well. So it's a nice dry stretch of weather for us. Once we get to Friday and into the weekend, temperatures still mild in the low to mid 60s. However, showers will enter the forecast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At this point, though, Lauren, they look to be very light, scattered in nature, nothing like we went through this past weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic. Should be a little bit lighter again this week. Here's a look in the downtown area right now. I-65, our view from Fletcher Avenue. You can see traffic moving northbound and southbound there. Between the splits is traveling up to speed. No major crashes right now to slow you down. Use caution if you do have to head out there this morning.
Another cruise ship nightmare during the COVID-19 pandemic. 4 people dead, nearly 200 with flu-like symptoms as the ship tries to get to Florida. Coming up next hour on Good Morning America, you'll hear from an American couple trapped on board. It's 6:53. We'll be right back.
Airing Hoosiers only on RTV6.
They are 2 on a home. They are 3 together. They are 4 each other. Each other.
We've seen and heard a lot of inspiring music coming from quarantined areas of the world. That video was put together by a choir of high school and college students under quarantine in Italy. A beautiful way to start off our week.
Yeah, a great tribute there. A lot of great news coming in. Despite all the bad news, there's always somewhere you can find the good. So that is good news. And the weather. That's another area we like to get good news. So, Todd?
Yeah, not bad today. We'll have some sunshine, a little breezy at times, and temperatures in the mid-50s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.